Have you ever wondered if some of Britain's best foods are hiding in plain sight? Every year, millions of visitors flock to the United Kingdom, eager to try fish and chips or a full English breakfast. Yet they unknowingly walk right past some of the country's most remarkable culinary treasures. These are the dishes locals often overlook, tourists rarely hear about, and food lovers around the world are seriously missing out on. Some of these foods have survived for centuries, carrying stories of kings, miners, fishermen, and entire communities that helped shape Britain itself. Others may look unusual at first glance, but one bite is often enough to completely change people's minds. The surprising part is that many of them remain virtually unknown outside their hometowns, despite being every bit as memorable as some of the world's most famous dishes. And by the end of this video, you'll discover the British food that many people believe deserves global recognition, but almost nobody talks about. Trust me, the last entry might completely change the way you think about British cuisine. Walk through almost any British town, and you'll find bakeries, markets, and family-run shops selling foods that have been part of local life for generations. Yet most people simply pass by without giving them a second glance. They're not flashy, they rarely appear in travel brochures, and they certainly don't receive the same attention as Britain's internationally famous dishes. That lack of attention has allowed some truly exceptional foods to remain hidden in plain sight. One reason these foods stay under the radar is because many of them are deeply regional. A recipe that is celebrated in one county may be almost unknown just a few hours away. Families proudly preserve cooking techniques passed down through generations, often refusing to change recipes that have existed for hundreds of years. Every bite carries a piece of local history, reflecting the people, traditions, and landscapes that created them. Ironically, their greatest strength may also be the reason they're overlooked. They don't rely on expensive ingredients or modern culinary trends. Instead, they focus on simple flavors perfected over time. As you'll soon see, some of Britain's most unforgettable foods aren't found in luxury restaurants at all. They're hiding in ordinary places where only curious visitors think to look. British cuisine has earned a reputation for including foods that can look a little intimidating. Some have unusual names, others feature ingredients unfamiliar to international visitors, and a few simply don't photograph particularly well. But appearances can be incredibly misleading, and many people who reluctantly take a first bite end up becoming lifelong fans. Much of this comes from Britain's long history of making the most of available ingredients. Communities learned to transform humble products into comforting, flavorful meals that could feed families through difficult times. What may seem unusual today was once an ingenious example of creativity, resourcefulness, and culinary skill. Understanding that history often makes these foods even more enjoyable to experience. As the journey continues, you'll discover that some of Britain's greatest culinary surprises aren't just delicious. They tell incredible stories about survival, identity, and tradition. And the next hidden specialties reveal just how different British food can become from one region to another. One of the biggest surprises about British cuisine is that there isn't just one version of it. Travel a relatively short distance, and the local specialties can change completely. Every region has developed its own recipes based on the landscape, climate, and industries that shaped daily life. While tourists often stick to familiar restaurants in major cities, some of the country's most extraordinary dishes are quietly waiting in villages, coastal towns, and countryside pubs that rarely make international travel guides. Take Cornwall, for example, where the famous Cornish pasty began as a practical meal for miners working long hours underground. Head north into Yorkshire, and you'll find dishes built around hearty comfort and local farming traditions. Continue into Scotland or Wales, and entirely different ingredients and cooking methods begin to appear. These aren't simply variations of the same cuisine. They're reflections of distinct regional identities that have evolved over centuries while preserving traditions that locals still take enormous pride in today. What makes these specialties even more remarkable is that they often remain authentic because they were never designed for tourists. They were created for families, workers, fishermen, farmers, and entire communities long before international travel became common. That authenticity is exactly what gives them their charm. And the next group of foods proves that some of Britain's greatest culinary treasures aren't new discoveries at all. They're forgotten classics that once helped feed an entire nation. Long before supermarkets filled their shelves with foods from around the world, British households relied on recipes that were affordable, filling, and built to last. These dishes became staples, not because they were fashionable, but because they made the most of local ingredients and provided comfort during difficult times. Many families prepared the same recipes week after week, creating traditions that would be passed down from one generation to the next. As lifestyles changed and international cuisine became more widely available, many of these traditional meals slowly disappeared from everyday life. Younger generations often grew up without learning the recipes their grandparents knew by heart, while restaurants increasingly focused on modern trends rather than historic favorites. Yet in small villages and family kitchens across Britain, these classics never truly vanished. Dedicated cooks continued preserving them, keeping centuries of culinary history alive, one meal at a time. Today, more people are beginning to rediscover these forgotten dishes, recognizing that they offer far more than simple comfort food. Every recipe tells a story of resilience, community, and ingenuity that helped shape Britain's cultural identity. But even among all these remarkable classics, one particular British dish stands above the rest, earning the admiration of nearly everyone who tries it, while somehow remaining one of the country's best-kept culinary secrets. After exploring Britain's overlooked classics, surprising flavors, and regional treasures, one question naturally remains. Which dish truly deserves to stand alongside the world's most celebrated foods? While there are plenty of worthy contenders, one traditional favorite continues to win over almost everyone who gives it a fair chance. It isn't famous because of clever marketing or social media trends. Instead, its reputation has been built slowly over generations, earning loyal fans through flavor, craftsmanship, and tradition. What makes this dish so special is the perfect balance between simplicity and quality. Every ingredient has a purpose, every technique has been refined over decades, and every bite reflects the history of the people who created it. It represents everything that makes British cuisine unique: honest cooking, regional pride, and recipes designed to bring people together. Those who discover it often wonder why it never became as internationally recognized as pizza from Italy, sushi from Japan, or tacos from Mexico. Sometimes, the world's greatest foods remain hidden, simply because few people ever think to look beyond the stereotypes. Perhaps that's the biggest lesson of all. British food is far richer, more diverse, and far more exciting than its reputation suggests. Beyond the well-known classics lies an entire world of incredible flavors waiting to be explored by anyone willing to be curious. So, the next time you find yourself in the United Kingdom, don't just order the dishes everyone already knows. Take a chance on something local, ask the people who live there for their favorite recommendation, and you may discover a meal you'll never forget. And now we're curious. Which British food would you try first, or which hidden favorite do you think deserves worldwide recognition? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed uncovering these forgotten culinary gems, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and join us for the next journey into the world's most fascinating traditions.